Hey everyone, this is Angus from Boss Fitness and welcome to another edition of Boss Babe Success Stories. I'm really excited to be sharing with you guys tonight with the lovely lady Rhea Ashby. Mighty Rhea, how you doing?
Good.
Awesome. So, ladies that are listening, I like to call Rhea the meme queen. She is someone who's just full of charisma and just all-round funniness. But what we're going to be chatting about today is just some insights in terms of her story. So she's come leaps and bounds in the short time that we've been working together. I'm excited for where things will go later on. But in today's episode, what we're going to be doing is exploring some key take homes and stuff that she's had in terms of the the great changes that she's achieved so far, and have some kick-ass fun together. But Rhea, why don't
Yes.
you I guess paint the picture here for those listening as to how things were when you sort of first, started. So even before we started out, how were things like? What were your struggles and how did things look?
Well, I'd always liked to work out and things like that, but I'd never really been consistent. I'd always been up and down, and I didn't really know much about nutrition. Like, I just thought there were good and bad foods, so you stuck away from the bad stuff and tried to eat the good things.
Yeah.
And then just felt guilty around food, basically, and felt like I undid a lot of stuff that what I would do during the day if I ate bad or whatever. And it just led to getting in a rut, and then you'd pick yourself back up, and then you'd be all right for a little while, and then it'd just go back to going back into the rut again. So that was me.
Kind of like a what I call the cycle. So we've got highs and lows. You've got times
Yeah.
where you're feeling in the zone. You're smashing your, you're eating predominantly. Like people just eat healthy, so you're smashing your stretch of eating healthy or clean. And
Yeah.
then I'm sure you can relate. Like if life throws a bit of a curveball or something gets pretty intense, or you're stressed, or you're stuffed up with something,
Yeah.
bam, it turns into
Exactly.
the negative Nancy worries me. Bam, food
Yeah.
wagon, hey.
Mhm.
So my hand goes up for that one as well. All those years back, I can totally relate.
Yeah.
But cool. So we can see that you definitely weren't in an ideal place. You weren't in a state of complete happiness, and
No,
you
mine was completely out of whack.
out of whack, out of sync, out of flow, totally. So with those things that you were going through, what do you think were some of your key frustrations? Because obviously you were applying yourself to an extent, yeah. What were your
Yeah.
sort of frustrations and emotions behind sort of being stuck in that cycle you didn't want to be in?
Well, I didn't. The frustrations were like, I was eating good, so I'd feel good, but didn't really show on like photos and things like that. So
Yeah.
I just get frustrated and eat whatever I wanted for a little while, and then just
Mm.
give up, and then go, well, I kind of have to go back.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so I didn't really have any consistency because I was frustrated with not getting any results.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
So amongst your, I was going to say time of going solo, we'll call it. How
Yeah.
long were you sort of going at it solo before we crossed paths, and how long would you say that you're actually stuck for?
Um, well, I was at the gym for about a year, and then I had a year off while I was pregnant, and
Hmm.
then I was going solo after I had my baby for probably 6 months,
Hmm.
and then I spoke with you, and then 2 weeks after that, I joined the fitness group, so Boss
Yeah,
Fit. So
and
yeah.
then it's been changes ever since. Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Oh baby, that's it.
Yeah.
No, totally, yeah. And everyone's different in terms of how long they go for. I've spoken to some ladies who've been smashing it out for a good 10 years or so before they go. You know what?
Yeah.
It's time for some help. So it was awesome to see that with you, that you didn't, that you're not someone who lets those sort of things drag out. Because for some
Yeah.
people, it can be like it can be a fear having to open up to someone else and be kept accountable to, and then for some, it can
Hmm.
also be a fear of just having to leave their comfort zone. Because obviously, yes, in your sense, like obviously you didn't like how you were and stuff, but I'm sure you were comfortable in your own little world of just
Oh,
emotions and how
definitely.
things were going, and maybe feared to an extent, the
Yeah.
the what if sort of side of things.
Yeah. Definitely.
Um, but in terms of, I guess, talking about how things were, yes, these things were having an impact upon your health because you were sort of where you're at in that place. How do you feel being in that space and that sort of aspect of life was was impacting other areas of your life?
Um. Well, I think being frustrated with myself, and what I was doing in that respect kind of flowed on into my family life. So
Yeah.
I'd kind of be a bit moody and grumpy,
Yeah,
and
got it.
yeah, so it didn't really help. Like, I was trying to better myself, but it wasn't actually working. So
Mm.
it would negatively impact everything else and everyone around me, basically. because yeah, wasn't the nicest person.
Wasn't the nicest person. I was going to say, it's hard to actually hear, knowing that you're such a happy and happy camper that I get to listen and hear from today.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally fantastic.
Yeah.
So
yeah, end of last year was probably the worst mood wise. Yeah, that'd be me. End of last year.
That's it. I can just think of. I was going to say you're not a male, but I think of like that Scrooge guy, the guy that we see in from The Grinch and stuff, who just hates everyone when it comes to Christmas time. Just nope, get out of my face. I want to be by myself.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
But awesome. So within you, yes, you're someone who has achieved, like obviously when it comes to people with their focus usually on weight loss, but I think what was massive for you was learn the difference between the two. Like we could have easily gone along the reins of helping you just drop massive amounts of kgs, but then the means that people usually go about that is just heavily restricting food and having a negative relationship with it, and therefore just not really having any sort of actual satisfaction and actual real happiness from doing so. So for those listening with Rhea, we went down the fat loss path, which is where our focus is on, yes, it's dropping some kgs, but it's on helping her to be able to eat more than what she actually was and enjoying far more flexibility to be able to achieve, loads of centimetres lost and kilos lost and stuff, but now she's a heck of a lot stronger and more functional, and in terms of just comparing her photos in such a short period of time, it's absolutely amazing. But oh, there it is. It's
That's all right.
No, you're all right. All good. That's Rhea on her phone, so she's got that mobility. That's pretty cool, isn't it? But with you, Rhea, in regards to saying that, why don't you share what have been some of your key experiences in terms of how your mindset has sort of shifted in the realms of nutrition?
Well, when I was at the gym and I was doing my PTs and keeping my food diaries and things like that, I was always told, no, don't have that, have this, but I was never actually told why. So you never actually understood why you were eating something different instead of, say, white bread to whole milk bread, other than saying that it's better for you. So, and I'm the kind of person that needs to know.
Yeah.
So otherwise, I don't care.
That's it.
So with like the webinars and stuff like that, it's changed my whole mindset on food. Like I don't feel guilty about it anymore, as long as I've worked it in with my targets and my calories and things like that. So if I know I'm going to go out, then I kind of leave things, leave calories or whatever for that, and make it work for me rather than me working around my food kind of thing. So, I actually probably haven't felt guilty about food for...
the entire time pretty much.
Pretty much. Since I started. So, which is good. And a lot of people haven't even commented when I was at the gym and things like that. They'd always comment on like, oh, well, do you really... what do you want at the party or food-wise, to work with me, whereas that no one's commented this time around. They don't even know that I'm not like changing anything because it's not I'm working with it rather than them working with me. So
yeah, exactly. That's powerful, isn't it? And for those listening, I was going to say what's coming to my mind now is the times where Rhea has sort of sent me messages from like other things that she's seen on Facebook or other people that are gurus or whatever, and just having a laugh at what they're saying. So it's fantastic to see the knowledge that she has gained and how well it has soaked in, because it's enabled her to have such a better relationship with food. And as she was saying there as well, like planning ahead to be able to make room so that she could go out and stuff like that. It's something which is very easy to actually do and something which I teach within my coaching program. But the idea is just to make sure that while we're getting results, we're able to also live life at the same time. So obviously with Rhea as well, she's a mum, so she's got, mouths to feed, she's got things to do, it's crazy town. So the idea of her having to follow, say, like a, rigid clean eating plan, which she's got to eat the same food every day and at certain times, that's absolutely useless. Like it's going to be completely unrealistic, and even for just most people in today's society, we're busy, we've all got stuff on. So this enables you to actually be able to, time foods when you like, regardless of what time it is, and be able to enjoy sweet things as well. Like I remember this time where Rhea actually made this awesome cheesecake, and I was like, oh my gosh, it just looked so yum. But the thing is that she enjoyed it and had zero guilt about it. She made it, fit in, and all the other ladies in the group were just going, oh my gosh, that's awesome. But it just shows that like, you can enjoy food and develop a better relationship with it, which I know Rhea has well and truly achieved which means that she actually enjoys each of her days now and looking forward to food rather than, what it was like before and just being in a state of binge and restrict, which has been powerful. And obviously the gains that you've made in terms of workouts, yes, you've had a few setbacks in terms of injuries and stuff from, existing things, but it's been fantastic to see, how your body has actually changed moving forward. But we consider it's been only good experience in terms of what you've learned and how things are going. What I'd love to hear is where you're at right here and now. How have all these things positively impacted you compared to, sort of where you're at before?
Well, it just, before, you didn't actually wake up to think that tomorrow's a new day. So if the day before you ate a buttload of ice cream and you were like feeling really guilty, then the next day you'd wake up and you'd still feel guilty. Whereas like this time around, I ate the ice cream or I ate whatever, and I still woke up the next day and it was all okay. A lot of that had to do, like, mindset change was like making goals and sticking to them, and also the power statements. I thought they were stupid to begin with, completely honest. But they work, and they kind of keep you focused and make you realise that you are justified in getting what you want.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Powerful. So for those listening, power statements, what this basically refers to is personal affirmations which you make for yourself to sort of drill within your subconscious beliefs that you are worthy of success, that you can do this, that you can do that, that you are beautiful, and that you're sort of equal, if not just as good as anyone else. So in other words, helping you to break any sort of self-doubts and stuff that you've got right from the beginning. And this is something which, as Rhea said, it sounds silly at the beginning, and it sort of does to anyone when they're starting out with something new and building a new habit. But the idea is just so that it's setting you up in terms of your mindset and beginning with the end in mind, so that you can then flow and flourish from there. And obviously, as you go along in terms of phases of life and what's going on, you can cater your power statements in regards to that, relevant to the struggles that you're going through. Because basically, if you've got any sort of struggle, really the idea is just to flip that on its head and hit it with an affirmation to help you to be able to know that you can, overcome that. Because most of these things are related to fear, and we know that fear is just false evidence appearing real. So with smashing these power statements and stuff, it helps you to I guess, push yourself into a state of certainty, but also gratitude, so that you're thankful for each day, you're waking up determined, and you go to bed satisfied, meaning that when you're in that actual state, fear can't exist and you're able to function at full capacity, as I'm sure you'll agree, Rhea.
Definitely.
And it was something that was hard for her to learn, because obviously it's a new habit, but as she's continued on, she's flourished in terms of seeing physical changes as well as mental changes as well. But fantastic. So Rhea, what I'd love for you to do is, for anyone who, as I guess out there, who, is just going at it solo, is feeling sort of stuck like you once were, and maybe feeling a bit deflated, or maybe even they're at a point where they're thinking about giving up, I'd love it if you can just share some words of some wisdom, if you want, and encouragement to those guys that are listening just now.
Well, the thing that I would say is educate yourself on your nutrition, like if it fits your macros, and just realize how much of an impact it does make on your journey. Considering 6 weeks in, I couldn't work out for probably 4 weeks, and I've still seen changes. Be consistent, but in saying that as well, if you have your bad days, that's fine too. Just pick yourself up the next day, and basically hustle like your life depends on it. Hustling is good, and you deserve it.
Hustling is good, exactly. So those ladies listening, hustle is something which I throw around pretty much every single day, and that pretty much that refers to is, it isn't like lady prostitution or any sort of negative attachment to the word. It is focused on passionately taking action towards your goals. So we've got those amazing goals that you want to achieve, and the only way that we can get there is by hustling. So applying ourselves to the basics on a daily basis, knowing that you're going to move forward and attaching your emotion towards the vision rather than the small little steps along the way. Because most of the time, a lot of people, and I'm sure you ladies listening can relate, is that as you're cruising along, if you're sort of putting all your emotion upon this little goal and it's not working or whatever, and that you've hit a plateau because you've invested such emotion into it, and if it was a negative outcome, you're more than likely going to fail because you've set yourself up wrong in terms of how you went about your mindset. But awesome, Rhea, fantastic. And then in terms of, I was going to say some words of wisdom from you as well, for anyone who is maybe unsure or a bit uncertain as to, if they should take the leap towards, joining the winners family and having me as their coach. I'd love it if you can actually share, I guess some insight there, or what you really loved about your experience with me so far.
What I really liked was being held accountable and having the support of not just you, but all the other girls in the winners group, because it showed that, I'm not the only one out there, and you've got the support to help you keep going, but also the accountability to basically kick your butt. And I set these goals to do these things every single day, so I have to show that I've done them. So yeah, those were the biggest ones. And yeah, I honestly can't say any more about educating on nutrition, because that's huge, and it makes life so much more enjoyable and guilt-free, because, well, you have to eat food, so why not make it enjoyable, and so you don't worry about it. So they're my big ones.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Powerful.
Yeah.
And this is obviously all things that people struggle with when they're going at it solo. So for those of you ladies that are listening, know that these are all things which are heavily covered within the personal one-to-one stuff that I do, and within the group stuff that we do, as a winners family, through our webinars and different things that we have going on. But absolutely powerful hearing, sort of your changes, Rhea. I'm sure that in the future we'll see, bigger and better things as we move you towards your actual, end sort of outcome, if you will, and then sustaining it. But, truly amazing, fantastic. Thanks so much for being open and, I guess, being vulnerable. So, sharing those low spots, and also, sharing within the highs as well. Yeah. So for anyone who's keen to know some more about online physique coaching and about what the Winners family, pretty much is all about, I'd love it if you can just get in contact with me, shoot us a message, and we'll organise a chat together. And if you're keen to actually get in touch with Rhea, I'm sure she won't mind. I'll hook you up with her actual Facebook link, and you guys can have a chat. But no, it's all about the love, and know that if you're serious about change, I'll be more than happy to help you to actually overcome your struggles and achieve the success that you're after. But until next time, everyone, let's give a wave, Rhea. Take care.
Bye.
And see you the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.